So diving into the world of 3D printing this week, we're going to be revisiting a company that we have looked at in the past, but I thought I'd come back and sort of delve in a little bit deeper into their range because they have expanded it exponentially since then. This is SkullForge Studios. This was one that Lloyd actually shared with me in our little team talk thing, because he was like, look at how cool these are. And I was like, well, this seems like a good reason to come and dive in and check this out. So SkullForge do a whole bunch of 3D printable miniatures that cross a bunch of different sort of properties and IPs, I suppose we should say, but with their own unique take on them. It's all very much sci-fi related, although they do have a bunch of kind of like post-apocalyptic-y pulp stuff in there as well. A lot of this stuff would be exceptionally good for a variety of those sort of like 28mm, 32mm games that have popped up in sort of like the indie scene at the moment. But they effectively give you a whole bunch of sort of squads or characters, walkers, as we saw. There was mecha in there as well, monsters, aliens, and everything else in between that you could be using for your that you could be using for your games. I do particularly like all the very tiny sort of Star Warsy epic stuff that they've been doing. It is very cool. But yeah. It's a really fantastic little range that sort of like is packed with characters and troops and all sorts of different things you could use. If you click into some of my favorites are things like if you go to the Corpo liaisons there, John, just at the bottom as you scroll past them, and the Corpo sec troopers as well. So yeah, if we dive in and have a look at the Corpo troopers, I think these are really awesome. If you're playing something that's kind of alien adjacent, these would be pretty nice. If anyone's seen Romulus recently, there's a lot of guys that are walking around in these kind of badass suits that have that sort of grungy sci-fi aesthetic to them. I think they'd be really cool. They'd also be good if you're playing like Luna from Black Site, but you wanted to go in sort of like a different direction with them and sort of play out a slightly more sort of sci-fi version of that rather than being grounded in sort of like real world nations like the Russians and all that kind of thing. Although, of course, you could mix and match and do whatever you like.
I want to do some Dead Space with this.
You could do some Dead Space with it,
the main character, you're a squad who's being sent in.
Yeah, to try and kill all the necromorphs. That would be a really nice touch, actually. Yeah,
they are very. If Soviet Russia had armed cosmonauts,
yes,
this is what they'd look like.
That is true. Yeah,
I'm hearing if. I don't trust that.
When.
Yeah, I like that. I love the kind of like the additional banding that you get across the screens and things. I think that's really cool because you could almost do like a display, like a heads-up display on the top half, and then like the bottom half could be sort of like a normal mask or something, or maybe it could be like the sun visor on the top of
it's like a two-stage sun visor. Yeah,
that would be a nice touch. Yeah,
got baseball cap mode, can't see a thing mode.
Yeah. If we have a look at the scavengers as well, the ones that Justin was interested in, obviously that's a fantastic little group for those people who are going to be sort of heading to the post-apocalyptic wastelands. Maybe a little bit of Walking Dead-esque stuff you could do with that one as well.
The Dead of Walking.
The Dead of Walking. The Shambling Unliving.
See,
that Unalive show.
The Unalive show.
We have Frostgrave, we have Stargrave. Why can't we have,
Grave?
well, Scavgrave.
Scavgrave.
Grave.
Yeah, we could do that. That'd be good. Yeah.
I hope that's their April Fool's this year. Grave.
We're doing Grave now. Yes.
The ultimate horror game coming this summer.
So yeah, some really nice stuff there, as you can see. If you go back to the main page there, John, we'll have a look through some of the other stuff. I really like the Arsenal bit. So if you open up the freelancers, they've done some really nice stuff on there. And if you open up things like the Scion as well, oh my God. Again, if you're sort of like into Romulus and what they've been doing with Alien, that'd be really cool. But I've recently been playing a lot of Cyberpunk 2077. I say a lot. I have mainlined that game just in my veins. I have been jacked in almost constantly day after day. But these would be really good, sort of like corpo dudes that you could drop into your games. Or if you're going to be doing sort of like near future sort of like sci-fi military stuff, this could be really nice. So maybe playing something like Spectre Operations and wanted to do something like on the bleeding edge, this would be a nice little addition to that. So
could be Cyberpunk's trauma team before they got more armor.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Yeah.
I mean, you have health insurance.
You could do it as like a little earlier in the timeline.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, do it sort of like in the 2020 version rather than the sort of 2040s or the 2077.
Yeah,
That'd
or
be
you
really
could
cool.
do them as like Badland Rangers.
Yeah, also very good. Like near future Delta Force, something like that. They tend to wear caps quite a lot.
Yeah, they tend to like baseball caps instead of Kevlar.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Because I look cool.
The way the world's going these days, you have to paint them all red.
Well, that's true. If you go to the Scions one as well, John, that gives you an idea of kind of like the creatures they've been doing. They're very up on sort of like the most modern stuff that's come out for sci-fi. So anyone who has seen Romulus will be familiar with this character.
To be fair, this just looks like a screenshot out of a Tool music video.
That is also true. Yeah, could easily be that.
So horrific.
One of the ranges that I really like though is their Helldivers stuff.
I have them open somewhere.
Yeah.
I wonder which one it is.
Is it going to be them? Yeah, there we go. Which tab will it be? So obviously people will be able to tell what these are related to. If you enjoy your Helldivers, this would be a really nice sort of set for you to dive in and pick up.
Of course, Citizen.
Yes. Great for those people who want to put together fun squads for use in sort of sci-fi adjacent Helldivery-esque games. The guys who did that really awesome dwarf game recently, they did a set of rules for you to play out Helldivers on the tabletop, which I think is really cool. But of course, you could drop these into Stargrave or any other sci-fi game that you might have. 5 parsecs from home, that would be a good choice as well. The nice thing about the SkullForge stuff is that they haven't just done the good guys. They've also Democracy Manifest. They've also done all the bad guys as well. So you've got your clanking robots that you definitely need to shoot in the eye as quickly as possible, or shoot in the back.
Or shoot in the back before it inevitably turns and you
flames you to death. Yeah. But you've
nice that they have the gunship.
Yeah, you've got the gunship, so you can actually do some really fun scenario-based stuff where you have to get to the gunship,
get to the Pelican,
get to the Pelican, and also all your bugs at the same time too. So you could really expand this out and play some fun stuff in the Helldivers universe. Also, there are rules out there for Starship Troopers games, like the old Mongoose one, and also a bunch of people have done smaller games as well, sort of like indie stuff. So if you wanted to use them alongside that kind of rule set, you could easily go down that route if you decided to do so. But you've essentially got everything you'd need for setting up fun games in this vibe. They are in far too many pieces to be dead Helldivers. I've been gibbed more often than not when I've been shot by my own team. So,
or your own turret.
Yes, or your own turrets.
It happens too. Happens a lot.
Don't do what I did in one game where normally I would get on my turret and I'd lie on top of my turret and I'd just like follow it where it was firing. I did that and sat on top of a mortar turret and forgot that I'd put a mortar down. It just shot me in the bum and I died. So there we go.
My God, I can just imagine the line on that. Lads, I can't take it anymore.
Shay absolutely hates it when I play Helldivers with him because I always bring a mortar turret regardless of the scenario. It's like, rescue the hostages.
Yeah.
No hostages. Sorry.
There's endless amounts of hostages, so if a couple died, it's no biggie, right? So yeah.
I mean, clearly your documentation was wrong.
Yeah. But yeah, so some really nice stuff there for the kind of Helldivers vibes. As I said, I think it's really nice that they've not only done the good guys, but also the bad guys as well, so you can easily put together a fun force for your games. I've mentioned a couple of games like Stargrave and all that kind of thing, but you could easily use the tools that one-page rules have put together for building your own armies, and you could do much bigger games with these if you wanted to and sort of take it down that route. One of the avenues that SkullForge is best known for, I think, though, is their sort of space battles, not Star Wars collection, which is a bunch of different characters and all sorts of things that they've put together for that. If you go to the next tab, John, that one, that's the one there.
Yep.
They've gone through and sort of created a whole bunch of alternative characters that you could drop into your games, like Star Wars Legion. And of course, even though these are 32mm, there's no reason why you couldn't scale them up using 3D printing stuff and software, and have them as 40mm characters for you to use in Shatterpoint if you wanted to go down that route as well. SkullForge like this is the stuff that they are known for. They've done loads and loads of this stuff to kind of fill in the gaps that were left by the likes of Fantasy Flight Games and Atomic Mass, to kind of give you more specialized troopers and fringe units that you wouldn't necessarily see, and sort of dropping them into their games. Of course, this doesn't mean that you have to, necessarily stick with these being specifically Star Warsy type miniatures. You could easily use these as all sorts of different things. Yeah, that's what happens when John's left with a Dremel. So I will destroy it.
Did I see a James Earl Jones Darth Vader? Which is called a tribute.
Oh, that's a nice touch. Go back to that one.
So it's just up the way a bit.
Was it the one with the bust?
Yeah, there it is. Oh, that's cool. That's a nice touch.
That's nice.
Yeah,
I like that they've done that.
Yeah,
and it's free.
Yeah,
yeah.
They didn't use the highway guy that actually was the body double for the Darth Vader. That would be cool.
Browse?
Was it? Yeah, I can't remember. But he was in like a highway or like a countryside code video or something, wasn't he?
He had a West Country accent, but he was tall. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Jason Prowse?
Yeah, because when you listen to the recordings of it, he's actually giving the lines in his own voice. So he's like, "Oh, you there? Come over here." And
he's like, "I'm your father." Disturbing.
Yeah, exactly. It's very good. So they've got that side of things. So you've got your bad guys effectively. But if you go to the other tab, John, the last one, the last one. Next one. Go. This one. There we go. That's one. They've also got like the other side. Oh no, what the hell? Where's the rebels? There's meant to be rebels. Never mind.
The Webbles.
Oh. Scroll up, John. Scroll up.
Where are the Webbles?
I'm going to control you. Scroll up and go to Galactic Insurgency. Click on that one. Now. Yes. Do my bidding.
These are the miniatures you're looking for.
I am net running, John.
You have too much Chrome, man.
I have too much Chrome. Yeah, so these are your sort of your awesome rebels and all sorts of things you could throw into your games and sort of take the other side, which I think is quite nice. And again, SkullForge have done what SkullForge want to do, and that is kind of like fill in the gaps and stuff for your Star Wars games and sort of take them in different directions and things like that. You've got all your different characters in there alongside some slightly more lesser known characters at the same time, but you've got your wizard monks and all sorts of things in there at the same time, alongside bunches
Master Scholar.
Yeah, alongside loads of vehicles and flyers, which I think is really nice. So if you're looking to build sort of like a hangar bay and stuff, you could have some fun on that front.
They do seem to love doing very dramatic dead person markers. It's like, yay!
Yeah, well, I think that's way better than putting down like fatigue markers and stuff on tables. I like to have things that are in world rather than just sort of like lots of bits and bobs on the tabletop.
Hang on. All of these fell to a Wilhelm scream.
Yes, that's true.
Well, hang on. The top one is going, "Tell my wife The other one's going, "Oh God, you got me in the gut."
I have bonitis. Yeah,
I was 3 days from retirement. Why did Han Solo leave us? And
underpaid drama student
guy that got backhanded by a villain.
Yeah. These are the guys that didn't get to live in sleep inside a tauntaun.
These are literally on the cutting room floor.
Yes, very true.
I just want to see someone do one of them smiling like Alessio did whenever he was in Lord of the Rings.
Yes, yeah, because he couldn't stop. Himself. Yeah.
Happiest dead we're hearing ever.
When you see this kind of like the rebel styling with no color on it, it's space Vietnam.
It is.
That is very space Vietnam. I just realized. Kind of cool.
Yeah.
Oh, you pro-sod.
No, they're really good. They're really good sets, and they've definitely like enhanced their sculpting over the last little while. Some of the early stuff they did was good. I had a couple of their miniatures and stuff that I really liked, but I think the detail level has like really gone up a notch when it comes to their collection at the moment. And there's some really fantastic stuff in there for people who want to 3D print some stuff at home and build interesting tabletops and stuff.
I do like that there's a nice mix of aliens in amongst it all.
Yeah. Yes, so it's not just bog standard humans, which is nice.
Yeah. Not humans and humans with rubber mask.
Insert new version of Nose Ridge here.
Yeah, the Star Trek technique. Yeah. Obviously, all of these are 3D prints, so you'll be downloading them and sticking them in your own machines to print them off at home. But the folks at SkullForge actually have a bunch of merchants that do stuff for them as well. So if you're interested in checking out physical miniatures and getting them printed for you, they've got a page, and this is something that Jerry would love. They've got a page where they have basically got links to all the kind of different sellers that will do stuff for you. So if you're in the US, the UK, the EU, across a variety of different locations, as well as Australia and Brazil and all that kind of thing as well. So wherever you're looking to get your physical miniatures from, you'll be able to come to this page and find all those. I'll have a link down below to that one, so you can go and check it out alongside their Patreon as well. So yeah, really good stuff.
It's nice to see that the wargamers down under don't get shafted for once.
They don't get shafted, yes. You either get it as digital files, which they can't tax, or you get it from someone who lives down the street, so they can't tax you then either. So it's great. Yeah. Bob, who does your 3D printing. But yeah, some really nice stuff there from SkullForge. If you're interested in the worlds of sci-fi, whatever it might be, there will be something for you there. I know there's even some Ghostbusters in there for people like Lloyd and Warren. Some nice stuff. Yep. Yeah. Really good stuff there from SkullForge. Make sure to go and check those guys out. We're going to take a quick swish, and we'll be back with some more news.